Hello fun people, I'm Isaac Carlson, and today we are breaking down the entirety of the Raya and the Last Dragon teaser trailer using everything we know about the film right now. When the trailer began, the tone and setting of this teaser were fantastically set up through an intro with a castle on a hold mountain and a blasting instrument which were so decisively disruptive to what we typically expect to see from a Walt Disney Studios logo, but the true fun hadn't even begun yet. Next we see a young Raya preparing for battle as she looks through her armory, puts on her proper warrior attire, and gets ready for a fight. What's important to note though is that she doesn't choose deadly weapons and instead goes with two wooden sticks, which would be useful later. Following this moment, she ran through an ornate hallway, catapulted herself onto rooftops as it rained, and somehow entered a circular hallway that looked like some type of hidden temple. Navigating through that dimly lit place, Raya took off her face covering and looked upon a long hallway with a gateway at the end. While the string instruments were playing through every moment, everything picks up in a whole new way when Raya springs a variety of traps on her path to the door like she's Indiana Jones or the Tomb Raider, which eventually leads us to meeting the very adorable little Tuk Tuk. Now, I don't really know what Tuk Tuk is, but he kind of seems like this little mammalian armadillo thing who seems to be a great companion, an incredible roller, and someone who gets a bit distracted by his tummy at times. Through his great work, he helps Raya through to the massive gateway that seems to kind of be an advanced vault decorated with clouds across it. This barrier may have seemed formidable, but with Raya's sticks, she was able to unlock the complex system that laid within it. Of course, we discover that this film is brought to us by the same people as Moana and Frozen, while Raya enters this locked area and climbs stairs barefoot with beautiful water rushing upwards. That's a little touch I didn't notice at all when I first watched the trailer, which I did record and will link down below if you'd like to see my initial reaction. Clearly, something mystical was going on in this closed off place. While it seemed to be constructed in stone, the whole place looked kind of alive with glowing purple spots across plant life with a bright object in the center of the space. Now at first, Raya seemed to be mystified by what she saw, but soon a mysterious figure appeared and that feeling went away when we heard echoing wails in the background and she faced down that person. Here it's clear to tell that this is a story based off of the cultures that exist within Southeast Asia as we begin to see more overt iconography from the regions that were studied to bring this film to life. That's why there seems to be elements used that remind the internet of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. I mean, even to me, as someone who wasn't a massive fan of those shows, can clearly recognize that Raya was wearing something that looked like an outfit worn by Katara or Avatar Korra. The mask that the mysterious figure wore reminded me of the blue spirit mask that Zuko wore, and the moments with these warriors just felt tactical and thought through like they were trained by Uncle Iroh. Flashing away from this battle, we see Raya in a desert with massive stone structures around her, only now she's aged and holds the weapon that the mysterious warrior had once held, which indicates that they are likely somehow connected. I feel like there has to be some reason Raya would take that sword for herself, and I think she has it because the masked warrior is her father. We hear Raya speak about how she trained her whole life to become a guardian of the dragon gem, which I would assume is the glowing orb from the temple that she entered when she was young. I believe that it makes sense that her father was the one who taught her to be a warrior and to understand her duties as a princess, because Raya is supposed to be the next Disney princess. I mean, at first I thought that figure could have been an enemy, but since she fought him with wooden sticks, it seems like they were sparring more than they were trying to actually kill one another. But what really solidified this thought process for me was when we saw Raya standing next to a person with a similar outfit to her own facing the people of their world. To me, this man not only looks like the masked warrior's profile, but because of where he and Raya stood, they seem to be a part of the family who watched over all others. I think Raya's father trained her and was king. We then see a cart surrounded by statues of people reaching out with open hands, and this just seems weird and often disturbing. I mean, these people have to be turned to stone by some type of dark force or villain. I mean, what else would lead to this type of scene? As we see Raya fighting the figure again, we also learn that her world has changed. The people have divided into 4 kingdoms, and the only way for peace to come is if Raya finds the last dragon. Maybe her family has been responsible for providing guidance to the world and for protecting the dragon gem, which is why it inevitably falls upon Raya to rise up above the threat to mankind. All of this is is juxtaposed with scenes of her riding tuk-tuk in the desert, fighting the person in the chamber of the dragon gem, and looking at some type of document either predicting the future or recording the past. And after learning all of this, the history of the world begins to become clear. You see, from the summary of Raya and the Last Dragon, we learn that long ago in the fantasy world of Kamandra, humans and dragons lived together in harmony until an evil force threatened the land. To save humanity, the dragons sacrificed themselves, but 500 years later, that same evil returned, and I think is shown in the teaser as the black and purple darkness within Raya's scroll. And with this knowledge, I think what we are seeing on that document is that pairing a dragon with the dragon gem will defeat the force that threatens Raya's reality. But who is the last dragon? Well, after seeing Raya fearlessly and bravely rise against who I think is her father and declare who she is, we get this really trippy moment of glass and crystal coming over the trailer, which reminded me a lot of the mirror dimensions imagery in Doctor Strange. Then after seeing that Tuk-Tuk has grown to be absolutely massive and are shown that Raya and the Last Dragon will come to theaters on March 12th of 2021, we see a figure swimming through water, and this is the dragon Raya will find. You see, at the D23 Expo in 2019, we were told about Sisu, a water dragon who will actually be able to transform into a human. Together, Tuk-Tuk, Sisu, and Raya will have to work together on an epic fantasy adventure to save the world. You know, I haven't been particularly pleased with the last few Disney and Pixar films, and I am disappointed the 59th Disney feature animated film isn't going to be a musical, but I think the unique premise combined with an original princess story and the beauty of Disney animation gives me a lot of hope for Raya and the Last Dragon. But what are your thoughts about this movie after the first teaser trailer? Also, make sure to subscribe and click the beautiful bell, and then click on another magical video in the description or on the screen. Finally, as always, thank you to my patrons, thanks for watching, and have a magical day.